to you, Gaurav. You can start here.
Hey guys, first of all, good morning to all of you. I hope you guys are doing great. Anand, please allow me to share my screen.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I hope you can see my
Good morning,
screen.
sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Yes, we can see your screen.
That's great. So, first of all, as we all know that we are gathered here to get this Salesforce 100 Days Training Program. And there was a program yesterday also. So today we are going to discuss about Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So, introduction to Salesforce, it is 6th of Feb, 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, Brahmanda.
Yes. Guys, one more thing, can you? It's my humble request, so guys, please, if you can mute yourself, so it will be easy. Thank you, guys. So guys, myself, Farooq Kapoor, and as Anand told that I'm having 4 years of experience in Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So going to share a little bit about it with you today, right?
Penagan Gatulumare.
Sorry. Okay. So the topics which we are going to cover is like this stuff, a little bit about Salesforce, then we definitely move towards Sales Cloud, and after the break, we are going to move towards Service Cloud. Got it, guys? And I guess one more thing, whenever I say like there will be some important notes, so you can point it down and you can note it down in your notebook. We will try to give some time also. And in middle of the stuff, with the process when we are going, in middle of the process, definitely we will give you some assignments also, and we are gonna some ask questions that you can answer, or you can type the answer in the chat process also. Right. So guys, I hope you know that what is Salesforce. Right. So basically, Salesforce is a CRM, which is known as a custom relationship management tool, and it's a complete solution for include which solution for the marketing, sales, service, partner management, and committee management. CRM is originally software for managing customer interactions, such as scheduling tasks, email, texting, and many more. So you can do a lot of stuff. I hope so that you guys are familiar with Salesforce. Maybe not with Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, but yes, with the Salesforce, that how Salesforce works and how everything works in this. Right. So as we know, the Salesforce is now used by more than 82,000 companies. It's world's first and most popular for CRM, and definitely it is growing day by day. So, and the headquarters is in San Francisco, as we all know. It is founded by Mark in 1999 by former Oracle executive Mark Benioff and Parker Harris. Right. What are the business targets of Salesforce? So basically, if we say in a layman language, then Salesforce is just a thing which is connecting the customers to the business. Right. So if a business don't know that how to interact with the customer in the easy way, like in the previous days, people used to write the notes in the notebook for the interaction purpose, and they used to reach their customer with some different stuff and a long process. So Salesforce is a thing which is providing you all the thing in a single sheet, right? So we can manage all the stuff just on a single page, and you do not have to go anywhere. Just you need an internet and a browser. That's it, and you can simply handle all of your customers, all your business in just in a single room, right? This whole stuff is only telling you that only. So as we all know, what is CRM? It's managing for all this stuff, the phone call, meetings, email, social media. And these are the customers. We can handle the customers with the help of sales, marketing, stuff like that. We are going to discuss further. So why Salesforce is number one platform? Obviously, because it is very helpful. It is easy to handle, and it gives you a lot of functionality, easy functionalities with the help of which you can handle your business in a very easy way. So, which is into actual success. We are having a lot of clouds in the Salesforce, among which we are going to discuss the Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. We are having a lot of good clouds like Commerce Cloud, Community Cloud, and Marketing Cloud. They're very great. These are all stuff about that. One second, let me adjust it. Yeah, that's good. So, guys, what is Sales Cloud? So, Sales Cloud basically is an application which is used to enhance your sales. It is first of all, it is a default provided by the Salesforce for which you have to pay, and by the license also. It helps to sell products, services, and manage connection with customers and close more deals. It includes social marketing, leads, data, opportunity. These are the separate objects which you are going to find in your Sales Cloud further today's session.
ఫోన్ చేసుకుంటా ఈవినింగ్ మీ ఇంటి దగ్గర
Sorry to interrupt you, Gaurav. Anand,
Yeah.
could you please mute everyone? As a host, you will have an option to mute everyone. That way, there would be no discrepancies.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, so basically, why we use Sales Cloud? It is a written thing. Let's discuss why we use Sales Cloud. Definitely, the name is saying that we use Sales Cloud to increase the sales of the business. Yes, it is. Definitely, it is not just a place, or you cannot say it is just a thing which you're using. It's a whole place to, to gather all of your data about the business, about each and every sales, so that you can manage it easily. Plus, you can enhance it in a easiest way. It's a basic product of the Salesforce, as I have told you. Definitely, and it is having different standard objects also, which we are going to discuss. This is a basic stuff, basic image about Sales Cloud. So real-time account and contact, real-time marketing and leads. Account and contact, these are separate objects, standard objects provided by the Salesforce inside the Sales Cloud. Those who know, great, and those who don't know, definitely we are going to discuss sales process in just an easy way that I can bet in today's evening, every one of you who is listening this properly can explain Sales Cloud to anyone. That I can assure you. So it's real-time opportunity and clause also, real-time clean data, workflow and approvals. These are the admin stuff which we are also having in the Salesforce. Hopefully we are not going to discuss this stuff today, workflow and approvals, because this comes into admin stuff, and definitely are going to have a success session going on the admin stuff and this 100 days training program. Real-time chat reports. Reports are also the feature which you can also use. This will tell you the whole, I can say, the sum of the data, right? If you're having a long list of data in your whole system, it will gather all the things and give you a proper report that what benefits you are having, what sale you are having, every stuff in just on a single click. You can manage all your data. You do not have to go through to whole data and see like, okay, this month I have done this and this and this. This is my profit. This is my loss. You can just go into this and just get the stuff in a single click. It is very easy. Anyone can do it. App Exchange is the thing, so with the help of which you can get more of the apps, just like Sales Cloud is also an app. You can also create your custom applications. Definitely, you can also get your custom applications for custom business, plus standard business, plus a standard app from the App Exchange. Real-time analytics, you can do any kind of analysis for your Sales Cloud, as I told you, just like reports. Real-time partner manager, real-time email and calendaring, real-time collaboration. So you can do a lot of stuff only in the Sales Cloud. And don't forget, we are having a lot of clouds here, so we can do a lot of stuff in Salesforce. Yep. So guys, this is the homepage of Salesforce. Let me show you. I'm having my... Guys, is my org visible? Anyone can tell me, Kathy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So guys, this is the basic stuff. Basic homepage of the Salesforce. When you're logged into your Salesforce, this is the homepage, and this is the Sales Cloud, as you can guys see here. You can change the cloud from here, which I'm going to tell further. So these are the standard objects which we usually get in the Sales Cloud: opportunity, leads, account, contact, campaigns. This is the, you can say, starting of the Sales Cloud campaigns. We are coming into this. Dashboards are, this is a kind of dashboard, and this is a home page where you can paste different kind of components. I'm having some dummy component here also. And this is the setting icon through which you can open your setup.
Gaurav, just 1 minute. I think some of them ask how to have developer org.
Developer console.
Yeah, developer org. So just to give an introduction how to create a developer account in Salesforce. Then we can go.
How to create developer org in Salesforce.
Yeah, because many of them are new to Salesforce. They are asking about how to have a developer org. Then we can go into this data so that they can also follow. They can also log in.
Yeah, okay. So guys, definitely Anand is right that many of the guys are new into Salesforce. So I'm not going to tell you any, just go to this. See, simple. If you guys don't know the stuff now, how to do anything, just we know that we have to Google it out, right? So just to simply Google it, how to make a developer org. That's it. And if not, you can go to login. This is my org. Login with a different username. You can go and you can go with this also. Like if you're not having an account, you can create an account, and without this, just go to sorry. You can complete this trailer also. Definitely there. Anand, can you share that link particularly to login?
Yes, I can. I can share it.
Please share the link. Please share in chat. Thanks, Anand. Well, this is the link which I shared in the chat box. So you can commit to this. You have to just provide your details, first name, last name, email address, your role, every stuff. Company name you can use. It is not mandatory to type any specific company name. You can use any company name, just country, and sign me up. That's the easiest way. And after that, if you are signing into a developer org, for that you have to type this URL login.salesforce. So then provide your username, password, and then you can log in. And if you are entering, suppose you are in a live project, then the production environment you can log in through this link. But for developer org and another like UAT and many, you have to type this URL test.salesforce.com. Right? And once you click for this, you are going to get the same screen, but the difference is this is for the main production and this is for another test org. And for signing it up, you are having this screen. And the link is shared in the chat. So guys, please copy it out. And if you forgot this link, then I told you, then just simple Google how to make a developer org in Salesforce. That's it. This is going to help you. So get back to the stuff. So this is your setup. With this setting icon, then this will be also a question then how can we code inside Salesforce? So this here we are having developer console through which we can open the developer console and code PF pages, Lightning components, effects, anything. And LWC, for LWC guys, I must prefer that you should use VS Code. Better approach for every coding. So now get back to where's my slide? Yeah. So as we have discussed homepage, let's move. Sorry. Yeah. So guys, do you know sales? Sales Cloud is having the major term sales. So let's discuss what is sales. Sales is basically a stuff which is used to sell your product. Suppose you are having a business and you want to sell the product, then definitely you will what you will do. You will do sales. You will gather some particular customer, or you will handle a particular group of customers to which you will ask that, hey, I have a product. Do you want to purchase it? Now, maybe that is the case that that customer wants to buy a product, or that customer do not wants to buy a product. That customer can be the potential customer to buy it, or cannot be the customer. Suppose you are selling, I must say, pen. Okay, you are selling a pen, but the customer is already having a pen, or maybe the customer do not need a pen. Then why the customer has bought it, right? So that also depends on what type of product you are selling and where you are selling and to whom you are selling. That is the major point, and that's the only thing that business can tell you. Your business will itself tell you that what do you want, how you can sell, and where you can sell. So by definition, the term sales refers to all activities involving in selling a product or serve to a consumer or a business. But in practice, it means so much. Consumer or a business. Here means, suppose I'm having a tire, okay? And you came to me with your car that I need a tire for my car. So what I will do, I will sell you a product. I will sell you the tire. You're going to use it in your car. So what are you? You are a consumer. You are using it, so you are a consumer. Now, what is business? Suppose you are having, let's talk about that. I am MRF or I am CEAT, any big tire company. Now, you are having your tire shop. You are the owner of your shop. Now, you came to me that I need tire. So, you're going to purchase the tire from me. I'm going to sell you, but you're not going to use it. You are going to sell it to different consumers, the customers who are gonna come to you are the consumers. You are a business, right? So you are going to get the product to sell it further. So the relation between us, the this deal is going to be business to business. And if you are a direct consumer, or if you are a like I told you, are a shop and you are selling the product, then that guy who is going to purchase from you is the consumer, and you are business from him, right? So this is the major difference between consumer and business. Definitely, we are going to dig in deep into that, right? So here, sales is a term used to describe the activities that lead to the selling of goods and services. Now, again, a new word came: goods and services. Goods and services means a product and a service. You can sell any kind of stuff. Like suppose I told you we are having a tire, so you can touch it. It's a good, or you can say it is a product. But suppose you are having a coaching institute, or you are having a school. So what you are selling? You are selling the courses. Like suppose you are having a Salesforce institute, and you are selling the coaching that yes, we are providing a training program. You guys can join us and have the training. So that is not any product. That is a service, right? So you are selling a service. The major difference between product and service is a simple, that you can touch a product and service is not touchable. Getting me, guys? So the goal of sales is to reach out the leads who have shown interest in or fit the description of the company's target customer, in hope of providing them with a solution that results in purchase of a product or service. So as I told you that first of all, we should know that what we are selling, that business is gonna tell. To whom we are selling, that we have to decide that where is the need of the product, right? Suppose in Assam someone is selling tea, then no one is gonna buy it, right? Tea we are buying in Delhi NCR or some other, but in Assam everyone is having, everyone knows that everyone can take from anywhere, right? So that is the major thing, that where you are selling, the main audience you should know, right? So let's move to the next slide. Let's discuss the type of the sales. So we are having two type of sales: product sales and service sales. So the major example, as I told you, the tire company, right? So if you are selling a tire, it is a product. You can touch it. So it means it is a product sale. If you are selling something which is not touchable, like you are having your coaching institute, or you are having your own school where you are selling the classes, or where you're selling the services, like a different kind of lectures. So currently we are in 100 student program, right? So we are not taking any fees from you, but yes, if you put the fees, then obviously we are selling this program and you're gonna buy it. Maybe some of you buy it, definitely. So that is the stuff that today what you are getting from us is a service, right? So if we call it as a product, so it is a service. It is service sale. We are selling a service. And if we are selling something, suppose the goodies of the Salesforce, if we are selling, although no one sells it, but if someone is selling the product with Salesforce goodies, and if you are buying it, then definitely it is a product. You can touch it up. That's what return is there. Product sale is that of selling a product in terms of money. Definitely, it is going to get you money. Sales Cloud obviously helps you to increase your business, to increase your sales, to get your money. If you're doing a business, then obviously you need some money. That's why you're selling the product. Product sale is when customer buys a product which will fulfill the need. The number of the products sold in given the time period helps you determining the product sales. If someone buys a product, then definitely it's a need. If you're going to the market to buy any stuff, then definitely it is a need. That's why you're buying, right? Similarly, service cloud is that to service return of money. Service sales is when a customer buys a service to learn. As I told you that you're getting a service, it means you're learning. So now let's move to the next slide. Job of sales representative in sales. So guys, with the help of sales, we know if any company is doing sales. Just for the 2 minutes, forget about Salesforce. What is sales? As we have discussed, definitely there is a sale, and there will be a sales representative which is gonna sell it, right? So what is the role of sales representative? Sales representative know that what is the product of the company. Now it is the job of the sales representative to increase the sales, to enhance the sales with the help of the reach of the potential customer. So as this diagram is also showing, sales representative is here in the middle. Plus, this is the product on the left side. This is a potential customer to buy. So sales representative, you can say, is a bridge or a midway who is connecting a product to a potential customer who wants to buy the product. Right. If I'm not having any experience in selling a thing, I cannot sell it. Right. So if I know how to sell a product, then after that, the main point is where to sell the product. That is the stuff, potential customer. If you are selling a customer where there is not any kind of need, and if the customer do not need that stuff, then definitely you can reach him out or you can request him. That customer is not gonna buy your stuff. So the job of the sales representative is to make a reach or to make a bridge between the product which you are selling and the potential customer who has the courage to buy. Once you will get the potential customer, then you can definitely increase the sales of your product. That's what is written here. Sales representative are responsible for selling company's product by identifying leads. Guys, here you can manage that lead is someone who is coming to buy the product, and definitely we're going to dig deep into this. Educating prospects on product through calls, training and presentations, and providing exciting customer with expansion support. Sales representative are the people who help to find the leads of other product and service. The product which you are having and the service you are having, definitely the sales representative is going to find. The bridge gap between the companies and the customer. Definitely this diagram is showing that this is the bridge gap, right? So guys, let's move to the next slide. This is next. Yeah. So yeah, now we know that sales agent is doing the stuff. So where can we store data of the marketing that sales agent or we are doing? So definitely we are doing some kind of marketing to sell the product, right? Suppose you are having a furniture shop or any stuff, and you are putting a stall in a market or any big market or somewhere, and you are asking people that please buy my product. So definitely it is a marketing criteria. You can increase your sales with the help of a lot of stuff like marketing, generate a brand, and marketing will help you to generate a brand, right? It will also help you to get a lead who want to buy the product. So guys, if anyone know where can we store data of the marketing that we or sales agent are going to do? Any idea, guys? You can tell it in the chat also.
The cloud.
Lead. Okay, the cloud I heard. Database. Salesforce is itself a database. Dipankar. Salesforce is itself a database. Any other guesses, guys? Excel sheet. Bro, we are not here for the Excel sheet. Salesforce, that's what Salesforce do. Salesforce moves cloud, that kind of stuff.
The campaign modules which is available there inside Salesforce.
Great.
We can store it in accounts, leads, and campaigns.
No, account and leads, we are gonna come into account and lead. But yes, sir, sorry, I don't know the name who just said, but campaign. Yes, campaign is the right answer.
This is Gopi. The campaign module is the one where we can store the details where we have done marketing through some of the representatives about our products and services. Those details will be stored there.
Definitely. So campaign is the main thing. It is the heart of the sales cloud, you can say. So campaign is the stuff where you can store all your data about the marketing that you are doing, right? So if you are doing any kind of marketing or any kind of campaigning, you can store all the data inside the campaign object, which is standardly provided by the sales. If you go to Salesforce, let me show you once again. See, here we are having the campaign object. We are here. If I click over this, see, I'm having some basic record over here. So this is a campaign. Here you can add all of the details. You can also make, say, leads in the campaign, converted leads. This is gonna gather all your information, start date, end date. You can also add your custom fields. One second. If you wanna edit this object, like this is a standard object, so just go here, edit object. So this is all details about the campaign object. This is the API name through which you can take the query also inside the developer console. This is the fields in the relationship. These are all fields inside the campaign object. These are standard fields. If you click on new button, you can create your custom field. Like if I show you, let's click on auto number. 0. Next. Display format, no, sorry. Guys, this is the visibility option. If you're gonna make anything new inside Salesforce, anything like anything, or any stuff, you have are gonna see this option. These are the profile names inside the Salesforce. Profile means the permissions. I'm not going to get deep into this. This is some admin stuff. So if I started this, then it is going to take 4 days. So if I now come here and refresh this stuff, it is going to show you the field that we have just built. Let me search it. Here, can you see guys? This is the auto number. If I create any new record, then obviously it is going to show you the stuff. So this is the field which we have just built, with the help of which you can create any stuff inside. So let's get back to the procedure. So guys, yes, this is the campaign where we can store all the details about the marketing stuff that you are gonna do in the increasing of the sales, or in try to increasing of the sales inside Salesforce. If you are doing any kind of campaigning, marketing, or you are reaching the customer one by one, or maybe the customer is getting you, then all that stuff. Now, guys, next question. Now we are done with the marketing. We have started the campaigning, and you are doing. Suppose we have a shop somewhere and we are selling the furniture. Now we have opened the shop. Yes, we are doing the marketing. The customer is coming to us. Now my next question is, all those customers who are coming to us, where are we gonna store that data? That yes, this and this customer are coming to us, right? Suppose if you're having a shop somewhere and someone is coming to us, then usually customers write the name, details, and of everyone who is coming to them. Maybe they do not want to buy the product, but if they are asking also for the product, then obviously the owner used to write the details in some Excel sheet, as someone said. Yes, the Excel sheet, they use Excel sheet or some kind of diary stuff to write those details. But actually, Salesforce do not use Excel sheet to write the stuff. So where can we store those details? Any idea, guys? Again, answers.
Leads is the module where we can store.
Awesome. You guys know Salesforce very well, definitely. So yes, everyone is right again. It's my next slide. Lead. So now let's talk about what is lead, or who is a lead, right? So I hope everyone can read. A lead is a prospect who is interested in your business. If someone is coming to you, that first of all, that doesn't mean he's gonna buy your product, right? But yes, he's interested in that product. That is facts. That if you are going to a car showroom, then it is not mandatory that you're not gonna buy it. But yes, definitely you are interested in a car, right? Suppose if someone is not interested in a movie, then definitely he is not gonna see even the trailer of that movie, right? If some of your friend is selling that this is the movie, do you want to see? And if you are saying that no, I do not want to see, simply you will say no, I do not want to see. You will not even say okay, I'll think over it and any stuff. If you do not want, then you will just simply say no, right? So it is a potential customer who is interested to buy a product or service. Potential customer means who wants to buy the product, right? Who is having a need or who is thinking about the product, right? It is a one place to gather all information from all resources. Now, this point is something new. From all resources, like what? You can get the lead from multiple resources, right? Like phone, website, social media, paid marketing. Paid marketing is the stuff we usually use. Google AdWords is the simplest example of paid marketing. Social media like Facebook, Instagram, we usually we use different kind of posters that we use to provide to the different people. Social media, or any social media platform. Website is just like Salesforce website. We have done the marketing of a 100-day training program with the help of this website, and you are familiar with this. Phone, you can also submit your phone. There are multiple more cases like web to lead, and that we're going to show you. Now, this is a note. It is not mandatory to get leads always by campaigning, but yes, most of the time leads are generated from campaigning. Yes, guys, it is very true. Campaigning is always there to get the leads. But yes, it is also true that it is not mandatory that whatever leads you are getting are going to definitely from the campaign only. Yes, definitely you're going to get some leads through campaign, but 100% leads are not going to be through campaign because there are multiple resources. And that's the reason why we have a lead. If suppose you're having these, let's take about example of these 5 platforms. First, phone. Second, website, social media, paid marketing. Now, suppose you are having 4 different pages on your phone or on your laptop, and every morning you have to go there and check that, okay, what are the leads we are having? So what you have to do, you have to log in all of your four platforms, and you have to check it out that what type of leads we are having. Then what you are going to do, you are going to take the records from all those 4 pages and sum it up on a single page. But what lead is doing? It is gathering all the information from all the resources on a single sheet, right? You do not have to go anywhere. The lead will gather all your information on a single roof, just lead. You do not have to take care about that from where we got it. Yes, definitely there is a type field on the lead where you can store that, source field, where you can save that from where this lead is for the future gap, for the future analysis, that what is the place from where you're getting the maximum leads and what is the place from where you're getting the lowest leads. So you can increase your type of marketing for that particular piece. Whereas from here we are getting less leads. So definitely we have to increase the type of marketing, or we have to increase the more power, you can say, about the selling of that product, or you have to increase the resources who wants at particular price at the particular resource from where we are not getting the exact amount of leads. So yes, you are having the type field that I'm going to show you very soon. So that's what lead do. It will gather all the information in a simple, it's just like a bottleneck in the traffic. Suppose in the traffic you're having a 4-lane highway, and a policeman or some government duties want to check a car, then what they will do? They will put the barricading between the road. So what it will do, it will bypass all that 4-way lane traffic in a single lane, right? So that's a bottleneck. That's what leads to. It will bottleneck all your leads from multiple resources and gather it in a single line, so you can see every lead one by one, and you will not be able to miss it. And that's more friendly also, user friendly and easy to use. More about leads. In Salesforce, a lead is a standard object that is created when you want to store information in your database to sell product. Definitely, see, a lead is provided by Salesforce standardly. Just I showed you campaign. We are having lead object here. And click on this. Okay, all open links. So these are some leads which I'm already having, and you can click on new button to generate a new lead. This is a name where you can indentation, first name, last name, and one field about which I was telling you is please type. Phone, mobile, website, lead status, open. Where is we are here, lead source. So you can here tell web, phone, partner referral, purchase list, and others. You can also add more options according to your business requirements. With the same process, you just have to click edit object, go to fields and relationship, search this field, type resources. Right, let me show you. Fields and relationship. This is a search bar. Your lead source. See, these are the options. You can also deactivate some of your stuff. And this is the previous option which I was using, then I deactivated it. And let's create a new option. Let's see. I'm having a read from Salesforce, right? And if you click on save button, then just come here, refresh the page. Let's click on new. Lead source. See, we are having a new option here, right? So like this, we can add multiple options, and that's totally depend on the business, right? What business you are having, and what is the demand of your business, like from wherever you're getting the resource, right? So that's already depend on the business. But yes, you can add a number of options in that. You can activate and deactivate any options at any time, right? So it is that standard object provided by the Salesforce. Now, as we know, it helps to remove dependency of all resources and putting it to one that CRM to, and will put all your information at one point, as I just discussed, right? So I hope you're getting familiar with this point. These can be improved, but they also can be created automatically through external marketing, automatic platforms, as well as by form submission or another inputs. Like there are multiple inputs. You can do external marketing or Google AdWords, as I told you, and you can also do some different kind of integrations with the Salesforce, like whatever applications the demand came that we want to integrate. You can integrate the Salesforce system with the help of that system. Like majorly, a most common used environment in the Salesforce for integration to getting the leads and the stuff is the QuickBook, and usually a lot of persons use it. Zora is one of also. Zora is actually accounting software, but yes, it can handle it out. And QuickBook is a very good thing. so you can use it out. From where we can get the lead. So guys, these are some of the resources from where you can get the lead. These are some of the points. You can note it down also. Web to lead, marketing, advertisements, ask for referrals, and keep in contact with the past referrals, network online campaigns. Keep in contact with the past referral means, suppose you got a referral, but he is not interested to buy your product currently. He is not in current situation to buy the product. So you have to keep in contact with the past referrals, with the help of which you can get the lead. Maybe today he is not interested, but maybe tomorrow he is. You know, if someone buys it, then someone wants, oh, he's having it, I also want to buy it. That can also be the reason, but that is good for our business. So yeah, these are the type of leads, B2B and B2C. Now, what are the type of leads? First of all, I have told you this stuff. B2B means business to business, and B2C means business to consumer. Now, suppose you again, let's take the tire industry. You are having your tire industry, and you are selling that product. So, if someone came to me and he's having the guy is having that tire shop, and he wants to buy the product for the shop, then he's a business. That deal is a business for me. And if you're a direct consumer, then definitely you are a consumer for me. If you are buying a product and taking it for yourself, that you want to use it in your car, then definitely. Let's take this is the product example. Let's take one service example. Now, suppose I'm having you can say some campus university or yes, there is some campus. Let's example EBC campus. There obviously a campus is going to have multiple students, and I'm having a coaching institute. So the campus came to me and they said that I want you to provide lecture in my campus so that the students can learn from this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack the deal through the campus, right? I did marketing. Campus came to me. Now, in campaign object, I'm going to show that where I did marketing, what type of marketing. Campus came to me. Now, campus, what it is a lead form, right? So I show the campus in a lead object. Now, what is the type of lead? It is a business to business because that campus is having multiple students, right? The campus is selling that service through me, but I'm not selling directly to the customer. But yes, if suppose the single student or some of the students came to me that yes, we want to learn directly from your institute, then definitely that deal is gonna be business to consumer, right? That deal is business to consumer because those students are using that lectures directly. They are listening to me, not like campus that they are calling me and they are providing lectures to someone else, right? So that's what it is. B2B lead sales lead are people or companies that are potential customers. They start sales process and critical maintaining a stable sales. And B2C lead generation is a technique of finding prospective buyers for customer facing business, like who directly wants to buy. It involves sales marketing. Definitely this stuff is going to be included into this. So let's move further. So as I have shown you, this is the open lead example. All open leads here. You are having your multiple options. You can also create different options here. This is the homepage of the lead, as we have already discussed. Now, guys, next question. If a record, let's say, if a person from lead buy a product, like currently what we are doing, we just did campaign. A customer came to us through campaign. We save the record inside the lead object. Now that customer wants to buy our product. A customer, suppose you think about yourself that you are having a tire company or you are having your institute. We will take the same example so that you can guys understand it better. So a customer came to you, knows all the details in your lead object. Now that customer is saying that yes, I'm interested. I got the product. I got the details of the product, and now I like the product and I want to buy it. What should be done with the lead record now?
Once you close the lead, Gaurav, it becomes a contact for you and an opportunity for you.
Should be converted to opportunity.
Okay. Guys, close but not correct.
Lead become the contact.
The lead, when we qualify and convert that, right? Close it, then it becomes a contact for us.
Create an
Okay.
effort for the lead.
Leads become contact and accounts.
Leads become contacts and accounts. Yes, it is right.
Opportunity is
But,
optional.
Account is
opportunity, definitely, ma'am. Opportunity is there, but let's see.
It's
So,
not.
account
that
is
lead-
Account is the option when if you are buying it for a company. Otherwise, you become a contact, right?
No. Let's discuss about this. Definitely doesn't matter what type of lead you are having, B2B or B2C. It is going to convert into account only, right? Account is going to have the details. Now, someone said that if you're having B2B, is going to come into business, account and contract. And if you're having B2C, it's going to come into only contract. That's a little bit change here. Actually, what Salesforce is having the game here. Salesforce has given us the option person account. That is a type of account which we are gonna discuss in next 2 or 3 slides only. So what person account do there? If you go in your Salesforce setup, you're gonna have your option. What is person account? So what person account do? Person account is for the business to consumer leads. And what customer account do? It will collaborate your account and contact. Like currently, if I show you, see, we are having separate option, account and contact, and we are having account details in the account. Let me show you. Let me show contact in separate tab. Suppose I open this account. See, these are the account details, right? The details of the lead, what we are going to get here. And the contact is having the contact details through which you can connect to the person, right? In business, we can have multiple contacts with a single business, right? I'm going to explain this further also. But in person account, what they do, they connect this account and contact. Means in account only, you will have to save the details of account plus contact. They're going to mix the fields of contacts inside the account object. That is the person account. And the major drawback of this person account is once you're going to activate this person account, then you cannot deactivate it. Like with yourself, you cannot deactivate it, but I think with the help of Salesforce, you can deactivate it. You can raise a case. But yes, if once you activate in your org, please do not go and activate it because then your account and contacts will get attacked. So that person account is the stuff when B2C comes. B2C never store the details only in the contact. I'm telling this particularly to that person who said, and yes, to all of you. So it majorly what it do is connects account and contacts, and it makes a single object. And that major object is the account, not contact. You are going to see the contact details inside the account, not in contact. Got it? So when a customer is ready to buy the product and the customer is buying it, all the details are done and all the stuff is done. That's where accounts comes into the picture, right? When any lead is buying a product, then it will get converted into accounts. An interested lead or a customer lead will get converted to account. For example, tire industry and institute industry, as I have already told you, a customer, we did marketing, a customer came to us, we saw the details of that customer into the lead object, we reached out to the customer, and now customer is saying that, yes, I want to buy that product. So, yes, and one second. One more thing I want to show to you. Where is it? Yes, once the customer will say that I want to buy the product, then definitely it is gonna get converted into account if that is B2B. See, there is a convert button. So now, once we convert the lead, let's convert it out. See, it is gonna show you options. Account, contact, opportunity. Currently, we have discussed account. Opportunity I'll also discuss that when we have to create it. Once I'll fill the details, and I'm gonna just click on okay, it's not showing. Convert button. Then it is gonna get converted into account, contacts, and opportunity. Right? You're also having to choose existing also. Like you can choose existing account or existing contact opportunity. Also, this stuff is also available. There's my slide. Right. So similarly, in institute industry, in the XYZ, as we told, ABC College. So ABC College is now, as I told you, that they have called us for the lecture. Once we are getting all the payment details and everything is fixed, now we are going to take the lectures. Then we are gonna convert that lead into accounts and opportunity, right? Into accounts and contact, because that customer is that ABC College is the business to business lead, and that college is the customer of us. Then whenever we are going to convert it, it is going to convert it to account and contact. But when a direct student is coming and we are converting in, then that details are gonna store in a personal. Understand, guys? What is account? As a part of standard functionality, Salesforce.com provide account object in Salesforce, which is store all account details related to your business, like customer and competitors. You can also store competitors that may come, that we are going to read further in the account, that what type of account you have.
Salesforce
Once a lead,
account object in Salesforce which stores all account details related or your business, like customers and competitors. Okay.
yes. Once a lead is purchased, a product or service, the lead is get converted to an account. Salesforce account are used to install information about the customers or the entities you are working with. Guys, this is a type of account which I'm going to explain further, so do not get confused with this point. From the account type, you can create local delivery. You can create a new account and create or on account type. You are having a multiple options just like other. On recent reviews, you can go to all accounts. You can create new import, and this is a Kebnan view also. So having multiple stuff here. You can change the view table. This view is actually much more better for opportunities. Guys, you can also add the fields here to the setting. Select fields to display. It is gonna give you an option that through which you can add more fields on the home page. Like suppose I do not want this phone field, so I can do it from here. That's also admin stuff. So what type of customer it is, like it totally depends on what type of customer it is, the lead. Let's identify it. Business account and personal account. The stuff which you were talking about, that is this stuff. Salesforce having two type of account, business account and personal accounts. The B2B leads will come into business account and the B2C leads are coming to the personal account. Personal account is normally having a single object account, which is also going to have your contact details. But in business account, you are going to have account plus contact. The lead will get converted into account and contact. Right, that's what it is. Shows the information about the company's availability. If you're doing business with a single person, no, the Salesforce administration can choose setup, and personal account is used for the individual person. It's best for customers, right? Account division, guys. Now that's the main stuff about the type of account you can see or type division. Customer account. Just a lead came to us and they bought the product tire on any kind of service like a home institute. We are gonna convert it. Guys, and prospect account is that account which suppose a lead came and that lead is dead now. I do not want to buy the product, but we are reading that lead regularly. And now that sorry guys, can you mute? Thanks. Prospect account is that suppose a lead came to us and we tried to reach that guy and the lead is dead. We simply said that guy that I do not want to buy the product, and we try to reach that customer regularly out, and after some time they again came back that yes, I'm interested in that product. So it is a prospect account. The nothing is different. It's just a kind which we all usually see. Now the difference is that partner account. You know, I just told you that leave this third point. I'm gonna explain that is this stuff partner account. So if you are running a business, like suppose let's take an example, then we elaborate it. So if you're having your tire industry, suppose now you're not having your tire shop, you're having a big business like CEAT and MRF, right? The multiple companies. What do you think? How these are very big companies, how their business are growing day by day and how they're earning so much. A single person can take how many tires in a year? Like suppose if you're having a car and you want to change the tire in a year or in a 2 year, you are going to change a single tire or maybe 2 tires. In India, we are not that much, that we are going to change 4 tires in every 6 months. In India, all over the world, no one will do it. That's different case. That's different case if someone is having a Lamborghini, then definitely he can spend that much. But the point is, we never do think that yes, after every 6 months we are going to change the tires. So in a 1 year or 2 year, we are just gonna change single or maybe 2 tires. Or the disastrous cases that 1 tire is again in a damage case, then 3. Okay. But with your 1 or 2 tires, that company is not gonna run, right? So how that company is earning this much profit with just a small group of people, right? So that's where partner account come into the picture. A small company, like a big company, cannot run on the basis of these small customers. So what they do, they collab with big companies. Big companies like what is the reach of the product, where they want to buy it. First of all, us, which is a small buyer. Now the big buyers are Maruti, Honda, Mahindra, the big companies, Tesla, who are using the tires in their car as a product. So the new cars are generating day by day. So what they do, they need that product to use into the car. So now suppose MRF is selling the product with some Maruti Honda or any company, Mahindra or anyone. See it. Now that Maruti Honda is what? They are buying the product with the company. Now that is the partner account, right? Suppose if you're doing your business and let's take another example. I must say, yeah. Suppose you are having your building firm, right? And you want now crane also. You want multiple things. You cannot run your business on a single person, right? You are not capable to do all the stuff on a single-handedly. Anything if I'm the person, I'm having a building business and I'm the builder, and I'm not capable to gather all the stuff in a single, right? I want crane also. I want building material also. I want every stuff also. So what I will do, I will connect different kind of people who are gonna help me in the business, right? So they will provide me crane also. They will provide me building material also. So we'll hire different persons who are gonna provide me the stuff. So these are the partner accounts which are partner in my business, right? So that partner doesn't mean that you are gonna share your profit. I mean, sorry, share your shares of the business with them. But yes, this is a kind of partner account. In your small office, you can also say that there are the partners like there is a main head or CEO of the company who is going to talk obviously to some manager, and that manager is going to talk to some sub manager. So these are the partners which are distributing the work in itself, not about the shares. That partner is not about the shares. It's not about distributing the work. So you can connect to a particular one person and who can take care of your another business, right? So that's the partner account. That's known as. What about the connecting person in B2B account? Now we discussed that we are having a person account for B2C leads. Now that B2C is going to convert into account and contact, which is a single object, account contact, right? It's a person account. That object is known as person account, which is having the details of account plus contact. Now what about the connecting person in the B2B lead? Because B2B is converted into accounts only. Now what about the person who reads us out that yes, I want to crack this deal on the behalf of my office? Now, definitely there is a person with whom we are reaching, right? So, what about the details, guys? Anyone guess that where we stole the detail of that person who is connecting on the behalf of their business that yes, we want to crack this deal? What where will store the details? Answers, guys. Okay, I got answered. Contact, account, contact. No. Contact is the right answer. For B2B, we are going to have contact. Yes, that is the contact. The person who will reach us out in that B2B lead, we're going to store that stuff inside contact only, right? It will be connected to the account as well. Yes, contact is connected to the account as well. But yes, it is also true. You can create multiple contacts, single subject, which are not connected to anything, right? Which are not connecting to account. You can make that. And it is a place where you can store the details of a connecting person. As I told you, the connecting person, suppose the manager of a principal or someone from the ABC company, ABC college, reached us out to the institute, and he said that yes, we want this deal cracked. We want you to provide the coaching to us. And that connecting person, that ABC college is converted into accounts, and the connecting person through whom which we are connecting to the business or to the a lead, that connecting person details are going to store in contact, right? Now suppose can we have multiple contacts with a single account? Yes, definitely we can have. Now, what is the reason or what is the business behind that? When should we have multiple contacts connected to a single account? Right. Now, suppose I'm a builder, as I told you. I'm not actually, but just telling you. Suppose if I am a builder and I want to build a building, for that I'm connecting to a different building, one from the building material guy, right? Now, suppose I hired one guy who is having details of all the other guys like crane and building material, everything. Now that guy is gonna be my account, and the connecting details of all those crane man and building material man, the transporter will be stored in different three accounts, which and all those three accounts are gonna connect to the in different three contacts, and all those three contacts are going to connect with the single account, that guy which I have. Now got it? That's the case where we can have multiple accounts with a single account. The connecting details with a single business. These three guys are connected to the single business. That's the case where we can have multiple contacts with a single account, right? Contact in Salesforce represents individual people associated with business accounts. This is a B2B lead, business to business. Contact in Salesforce stores an individual demographic information such as phone numbers, email address, and links to the accounts. Yeah, phone number, email address, definitely we are gonna have, because contact itself explains itself that contact means how to contact that person. So these are the details. How can you contact that person? So definitely it's gonna have these details. The connecting people from the person account will be also, sorry, the connecting people from the person account will be also in contacts only. Yeah, you can make the separate contact with that, but that's out of the box. That's a custom scenario where that, and that's also depends on the custom reach of your business. That's how you want your business. More about contact. Contacts are the people who are associated with the business account that needs to be tracked in Salesforce. For each contact, you can store various kind of information such as phone, answer, display. This is a standard object provided in the Salesforce. Yes, I have also shown you this. Sorry, this stuff. Here we are again having this. I think we are. Again, contact, you can have multiple hour contacts. You can see you're having again similar options, new add to campaign, select list view. These are some more options that you can get through this in the admin sessions that you must follow in the 100 days training program. Let's move to the next slide. Let's sum it up. Sum it up means currently what we have discussed about the sales process. What we have discussed: campaign, we did marketing, we got campaign. After campaigning, we got leads. We came to the leads, and when a customer said that yes, I want to buy that product, then it depends what type of customer it is. Either it is a B2B lead or it is a B2C lead. B2B leads are going to convert it into account and contact. The connecting person will be the contact, and B2C leads are going to convert into the person account, for which you have to enable your option is person account. That what you cannot disable it again without the help of Salesforce. But third point, it is not mandatory for all contacts to be with account. We can separate standalone contacts too. Like suppose if you just want to create a contact for your behavior, and when you want to create it, that also depends on your business, right? So now we have discussed 4 objects: lead, after campaign, lead, accounts, and contacts. The 4th object is user. I hope everyone is familiar. Who is user? The user who is using the Salesforce. If you are logging into the system and you are having the credentials, that's a simple mean you are the user of the system. Now that depends what type of user you are. That totally depend on the license and role that system administrator is going to provide you. You can be the manager role, you can be the sales role, you can be at any custom role, right? You can create your own role, because Salesforce is a basic system where you can design your own business. So what role you want to provide to your guy or any kind of user, that only depends on your business. Or if you are designing a business for someone else's business, then that guy is going to tell you that this is a business and this is a stuff, right? So according to that, you can provide different kind of roles and different kind of scenarios and different kind of accessibilities to the user. What data or what the stuff you are going to access inside the Salesforce, or that totally depend on the accessibility of your user. If you are not a user, you are not going to access that Salesforce. And if you are a user, then what things you can access, that also depends on to the user informations. Got it? So that's only the written stuff here. A user is anyone who logs into Salesforce. User are employees of the company who is working in your business. Sales reps, manager, IT specialists who need access to the company records. User account identify the user, and user is we're also having users here. Let me show you. Okay, let's see. So guys, I'm having this much users. Let me open my user. See, I'm having a CEO role. User license, Salesforce, profile, system admin. I can do any stuff, and I can also assign permission sets for different permissions. Here I can provide different kind of licenses. That Service Cloud user that we are gonna discuss in Service Cloud, that how to use license. Knowledge user is also very major. For that, stick to the session for the Service Cloud also. Let's come to the next slide. Now, where we are on our sales process. Again, first we did campaigning. This diagram. If you guys want to note it down, then this is a very important diagram through which you can explain that currently what is the sales process going on. So I'm giving you 2 minutes to note it down if you guys are doing. So I'm explaining it. So first we did campaigning, then we came to the lead, the interested lead. All those guys that came into the campaigning are into the leads. Interested customer and the qualified lead. Qualified means the converted. Once you convert lead, then usually we Salesforce say that if the lead is converted, it means the lead is qualified, right? Now the qualified lead is going to get converted into account. That totally depends on B2B or B2C. This is the details of the connection. So guys, note down this stuff. So again, I'm having a question with you. We are having the details of the connection. What about the deal? What deal we are having?
Opportunity.
It's opportunity.
Yep, correct answer. I hope you can. You have noted down the diagram. I can move to the next slide. Anyone is noting it down?
Please wait, Gaurav, a few minutes.
Yeah, please note it down.
Is it opportunity?
Yep, opportunity.
Gaurav, the last box, like below what is the deal, there is a question mark, right? So what is, what will be filled there?
That we are going to discuss in next slide. And some of the guys has answered that that is the opportunity. You can write it down. That the deal is going to store in the opportunity.
Yeah, okay.
Manisha said that what is the meaning of qualified lead? Manisha, qualified lead is that lead that is one simply means that it is qualified. Okay.
Gaurav, your voice is not audible, Gaurav, sometimes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean, you just now answered the query, right? So it was not, audible at all.
1 second. Let me connect my earphones again. 2 minutes. Huh? Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Great. So Manisha, as I said that.
What is a campaign again? What's the difference between campaign and lead?
Sorry, I'm not getting you. Can you please speak here?
What is the difference between the first box and the second box? Campaign and lead.
Okay. Actually, suppose you're having your business and you are telling about your business to the people. That means you are campaigning, right? You are telling different people that what is your business and what is your product that you want to sell. You are selling. Suppose you are having a shop and you are showing your products to the people. That is campaigning. And if someone comes to your shop that yes, I'm interested in your product, then that is the lead. Okay. If someone comes to you and tell you that yes, I am interested in the product, so that person is the lead for you. And once that lead, this have. Sorry.
Got it. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. And once that lead is going to buy the stuff, then we are going to convert it, and that will be the quality. So now I hope we should come to the next slide. Opportunity. So yes, the deal, whatever you are cracking, like suppose in the tire business, we are going to buy the tires. So the deal is the tire. The deal is the tire, and suppose you're having your ABC college, Someone is writing in this slide. Who is this Shiv Shankar? Is there anyone? If there is any guy, Shiv Shankar, I think you are writing on the slide. Please do not. It is also showing me, and I think it is also showing to other person. Thank you. So the ABC College, yes. Now ABC College came to us and it is buying a service. So that service is which service they are gonna buy. The service is gonna store in the opportunity, and in the tire business that they wanna buy the tire. So account lead get converted into account. The connecting person details are going to be in the contact, and the deal about the tire that they are gonna buy the tire, that is going to be in I'm getting some bell sound from somewhere. So if there is, then can anyone please mute? Some bell sound is coming. A Salesforce opportunity isn't a person or a business entity. It is potential future sale for an account. So yes, it is a sale. That is the deal. You can use Salesforce opportunity to forecast sales for your business. After the lead has been qualified as a potential customer, it gets converted to an opportunity. An opportunity denotes a potential future sale or deal that your organization must be interested, and it can be tracked. Yes, as I told you, this is the deal means about the product what you're selling. Yes, this is the stuff. Now let's come. What is opportunity? Opportunity is also the standard object. The opportunity object connects accounts with product. Now, what is product? Do not get confused. We are going to discuss it. Product are organized in price book. Let's leave this second point. You will get understand in this future. If you want to read, you can read. I'm going to explain this. Again, some bell sound here. Many opportunities can be created for one account if the customer is interested in different package of product. Yes. Just similarly, like you can have multiple contacts with a single account. You can have multiple opportunities with a single account. Like suppose if a customer came to you that you're having a shop, I want to buy pastries and I want to buy snacks also. So you can have multiple opportunities. That's also depending on the price books that I'm going to explain in future, and totally depend on the business. So this is the sum of the stuff. Like opportunity, we are also having this thing. There is opportunity. Yeah, okay. Yep. So this is the opportunity view, and hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, Gaurav, you're audible.
Something is. Now audible. Okay. Yeah, so I was showing you this Kanban view. So with this, you can say that on which options you are having, what opportunities you are having. You can open it in a separate tab, and your sale and your amount is also going to show. So that's where you can see all of your opportunities on a single sheet, and you can handle your stuff by just watching on view. And if you want a table view, just click and come back. You can open a single purchase opportunity one by one, right? So this was display table and Kanban. To edit opportunities from the list view, you can directly click over here, click on edit button, and you can edit your opportunity, like you're having amount also. Any stuff you can edit, and just click on save button. And if you click on any opportunity, you can again edit the stuff. Got it? Now let's come to the next slide. Now, what about the product which we want to set, which we want to show? Okay. Suppose you are having 20 types of tires and 30 type of mud flags. That yes, customer came to us, but now that totally depends on which type of tire they want to buy. So guys, any idea that where we are gonna save that product? Answers, please.
Price book.
No, not price book. Not price book. Any other, please?
It's a product object.
Yeah, right. It's a product object. Definitely, it is a product object. 1 second, it's what? Yeah, right. It is a product object. So that's where we are going to store our different type of product. We will store information about the products which we want to sell in a product object. Right? In Salesforce, product is also a standard object, similarly like other objects. You can add your custom fields and customize the object as per your business requirement, which means suppose you want to add more details about your product, like any kind of pick list or any stuff, you can add your extra custom fields just by going to the edit object and add your fields from the fields in relationship. You can. Now, what is the basic need of product? Suppose in the tire industry, you are having your tire business. Everyone knows that you are selling a tire. So the deal will be always about the tire or maybe some other stuff you are selling. Now, what type of tire? There can be multiple type of tires, right? There are different sizes of tire. There are different qualities of tire in the same size, and there are schemes on tire, right? So where do you want to save that product? That's where the multiple type of product we store inside product, and these products are always connected to opportunity. How can you connect main deal with the type of product that customer is buying? Now we know what is the deal. We know the account. Once the customer came, we convert it into account. We know the connecting details in the contact. We know that the tire deal is in the opportunity, and we know that the user want to buy what type of product is in the product. Now we have to connect it, which means we have to connect opportunity to the product. So do you know how can we connect or what type of relation is there between opportunity and product? Any guesses, guys?
Opportunity line item.
Lookup relationship.
Lookup relationship, master detail. Okay. The meeting is being live streamed. Many to many. Yes, Kanika Gupta. Right. So Kanika Gupta is right. That the relation between opportunity and product is many to many. Yes, someone also said opportunity line item and opportunity product. That's also the correct answer. But actually, that is the product. That is the junction object who is connecting. I said that what is the relationship? So the relationship between opportunity and product is many to many. And where many to many comes, then definitely there is a, you can say, there is definitely a junction object. And that junction object is known as opportunity product, whose major name is also opportunity line item. Right? The junction object is opportunity product. Do you know the junction object name? Yes, we know. Opportunity line item, which is also known as opportunity product. It is the junction object between opportunity and product. What junction object is? Junction object is majorly used to connect two objects into many to many relationship. Now, what here means many to many?
Sorry to interrupt you. See, now you said some point, no? The junction object, opportunity line item, it acts between opportunity and products.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And that relation is many to many, which we are discussing. Guys, can you also see this red line and green line on the screen?
Yeah, we can see Gaurav.
Yes.
But I'm not doing it actually. Please, whosoever is doing it.
Somebody else is trying to play around the group.
It's disturbing.
Yeah. So guys, if someone of you is doing by mistake, maybe, then please do not do this. It's a very humble request. Everyone is getting disturbed, guys, please. So yeah, we were on many to many relationship. So what is the meaning of here many to many relationship? Suppose you want to buy something and now you are into the opportunity object. Now you are going to a shop and you want to buy multiple things. Like you can have biscuits, You can have snacks also. You can have pulses also. So you can buy multiple product at a single time in a single deal, right? So your opportunity can get connected to the multiple products, right? Now let's discuss in the opposite way. The opportunity is connected to many products. Many we got it. That yes, we can buy multiple products in a single deal. Now how product is connected to multiple opportunities, many to many is from both sides. Huh? So suppose there is a single product, you can say biscuit, right? Now there is a biscuit brand which is there is at a departmental store, and suppose two opportunities means two persons are come together, then two-person can buy that product, right? Definitely, there means not. I've never mean a single product. There will be multiple products, but yeah, the same product can be bought by two customers, right? So that's how a single product is connected to multiple opportunities with a quantity field over it. That how many quantity you want to buy, right? Got it? That's how product is connected to multiple opportunities and opportunity is connected to multiple products. That's how it resembles that there is a many to many relationship between opportunity and product, which is generated by a junction object and handled by a junction object that is known as opportunity line item that you are seeing on your screen. Got it? Now that's one more figure which you can see. Suppose these are the opportunities: Maruti, Hyundai, Mahindra. This is the product which your company is selling. Suppose you are having your company and you are selling tires, alloy wheels, and rubber parts also. Some any rubber parts. And Maruti is buying your two products, your tire and alloy. But Hyundai is buying only alloy, and Mahindra is buying only rubber parts. So that's which is showing like any opportunity can have two products, and a single product can have two opportunities also, and one-to-one connect also. Got it? But to connect these things, definitely you need opportunity line item record. Got it? Let's move to the next slide. Now we have bought the product. What about the price of the product? Any guesses, guys? Definitely, whenever you go to the product, whenever you buy any departmental store or any stuff, there is MRP written on that. Everyone has seen it, but that product is never on that MRP price, right? Either there will be a sticker in the bottom of that pallet or plate of that product, or if you are buying any big product, like if you're cracking a deal from a big company, right? Then definitely there will be negotiable, and that negotiable will also depend on what type of customer you are. Means dealer price, retailer price, wholesale price. Suppose you are buying a single product, then you are just a simple dealer price or retail price. Suppose you want to buy the product in a bulk, like I want 1,000 pieces of your this product, then you are a wholesaler deal, right? So where can we store that price? Any guesses, guys? Answers, please.
We have two standard price book and the customized price book.
Price book. Yes, everyone knows. Right? Trust me, you already know Salesforce. Right? That's great. Price book. Yes, price book is the place where we can have different kind of price book. We can create records like yes, this price book is for the dealer, and this price book is for the retailer. This is bulk price book because you cannot sell a single product at the same price book to every customer. Like suppose if you want to try this in a real market, now I can give you a real example. Just go to any wholesale dealer and ask him that I want to buy this product. Any like it can be electronic shop, it can be your electrical item, anything. Go to any wholesale dealer. Then if you ask them now that what is the price of this particular product, then what that guy will do? That guy will open a diary or any Excel sheet. It will see. It will that guy will ask you that what amount of product you want to buy. Right? You want to buy in bulk, or you want a single piece of product, or 5 or 10 pieces of product. According to that, it will check. The guy will check in his diary that what type of dealer you are, and with that dealer, what is the price of that product for you. Got it? That's where it depends that what type of dealer you are, and the price of that product for you. That's also depends on what type of dealer you are. If you are a single individual buyer, the price will be little less than the MRP, right? Which you can negotiate. Guys, there is always a negotiable chance in every buy. Right? It's not like that. It's in a simple market, but yes, in the malls or in every bigger shops, we never do bargaining because they have now changed the criteria to buy the product. That is a fixed But yes, according to government also, you can negotiate at any of the price, because there is a price which is used to build that product. That you can say fixed price, or you can say the amount of the price which is already used in the production of that product. That is use price. But the amount. Are you guys also listening to this bell sound in middle? Hello.
No, no, girl.
No, Gaurav.
No.
Actually, I think this is because someone is changing the host, so you are hearing that.
Okay, you mean some hacking trick is
Yeah,
going on?
for me, it's net is disconnected and connected. Again. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. For me, net is disconnected and this connecting again. That's the reason.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So that's what will depend on that that what type of dealer you are, and on the behalf of that, you are going to get the price. That guy is gonna see in his diary that if you are a dealer, single individual dealer, then there will be a different price, and if you are a retailer or bulk price dealer, then different price. Next. More about price book. A single price book can contain multiple products. A single product can contain multiple price books. So, do you know the relation between price book and product? Guys, question for you.
Many to many.
Many to many.
Great, great, great. Yes, I can hear you also, and I have read the chats also. Yes, you guys are right. You are always familiar with Salesforce. Trust me. Relationship between price book and product is yes, many to many. Now, that's how possible. So, suppose you are having a product, you can sell that product at all the three prices: single price, individual price, and dealer price and wholesale price, right? So you can sell the product to multiple price books. So you can connect the product with multiple price books. Now, suppose there is a single price book, wholesale price, or any individual price. That price book is going to have the price of all the product, different kind of product in that list. Like every product is going to have a wholesale price. Every product is going to have an individual price. So that price book is also going to connect with every price book. Got it? Next slide. The relationship between them is many to many, but what is the name of that relationship? It is price book entry, right? So price book entry is just like opportunity line item, which is connecting opportunity and product. Here, price book entry is connecting price book with the product. So price book entry will contain information about the product having a particular price in that price book. With this, we can sell a product at different price at different price, right? You can see here, this is the price book, this is the product, and in middle we are having price book entry. This is again, guys, a junction of, because whenever many to many relationship comes, then that object, that junction object is then sorry. Whenever many to many relationship comes, then there is definitely a junction object, and here the junction object is known as price book entry. And as I told you, this is a many to many relationship. You can connect any price book to multiple products and a single product to multiple price. That's the case. If we talk about any example, as I have already told you that you can go to any shop and ask them that I am a wholesale dealer. So definitely that guy is gonna put out a book, put a book out, and that guy is gonna see the price. That what is the price for the wholesale dealer and what is the price for the individual dealer. So first of all, decide that which amount you wanna buy, and definitely the wholesale amount is less. If you have go to buy any kind of tiles, then that totally depends that that then this dealer always asks you that what is the amount of tile, what is the square feet area. So that square feet area will decide that you are a bulk buyer or you are an individual buyer, right? So according to that, dealer is going to tell you the price. The relationship between price book and opportunity. Now we know that what is the deal, we know the product, but we also want price. Without getting the price, we cannot sell the product, right? So how can we connect the product price to the opportunity? See, as it is only showing that there is a one-to-many relationship between opportunity and price, right? So, can anyone explain how it is one-to-many relationship and why only one price book will get connected with an opportunity? It is written. If you are selling two things to one customer on opportunity, then sell it on one price book. Can anyone explain this stuff? Okay. So, suppose you are having a deal, right? And you are going to buy a product. Suppose you are having a shop and I am the customer, and I came to you that from your shop I want to buy this. Suppose you're having electrical shop, so I came here and said that I want fans.
Like a subset.
No, let me free. So I said you that okay, I want to buy 5 fans and I want to buy 10 tube lights. Okay, so what you will do, you will put me in a particular price. That yes, you can get all this stuff in a single price book. Because if you introduce any other price book in front of me, then it can be the case. Then I can start bargaining again. Okay, and rest it is out for the business also. It never comes into the business that you can sell a two product in single opportunity with it's the out of the business, out of the box thing. Salesforce or any business team is not going to handle that stuff. So what you will do, there can be the case where you want to sell two products at different price book to a single customer. That can be the case. We can do it, but for that, what we have to do, we have to build two different opportunities connected to a single account. Single account means that lead is fixed, but that lead is gonna buy two different products on different prices. So what we are gonna do, we are gonna make two opportunities, which is connected to a single account, and every opportunity is connected to now different price. You cannot select multiple price book to single opportunity. Got it? But here, one second. Yeah. But the question here arises: can we connect two price book to single opportunity? Sorry, one price book to multiple opportunities.
Am I audible, guys? Hello? Yes, you're audible. Okay, I think someone is interrupting. Let's talk directly. So, guys, my question is,
Can you stop sharing the screen again? Share it again. Whether this scribbling will go.
sorry, 1 second, let me change my earphone stuff. Give me 1 minute. This Bluetooth is creating issue here, maybe because of hacking. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you stop sharing and share it again?
Okay.
Whether the scribbling will go.
Okay, I have stopped sharing.
Now sharing.
Screen share. Yeah, these things are
Yeah,
now.
okay.
The lines are gone for everyone. I think for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So the question was, can we connect? Suppose we are having two price books. So can we connect two price book to one opportunity? Sorry, multiple opportunities. Can we connect single price book to multiple opportunities?
You can make the present review. So PPTs.
Sorry, who said it's not audible?
You can make the PPT as a present review. Full screen you can have.
Okay. So guys, there is one more note here. Without selecting a price book, you cannot select a product on opportunity, right? So suppose you are on opportunity and you are selling any product, then first of all, definitely you have to select the price book. Then you have to think about the opportunity. Sorry, about the product, because once the price is final, that on which price book you're gonna buy. You're gonna buy in single retailer price or you're gonna buy in wholesale price.
That's totally depend the price book, and once you will get the price book,
Gaurav, your voice is very low, Gaurav.
actually. Better?
Yeah.
Great. Actually, Bluetooth was on. I think it was connected to another device also. Okay. So without selecting a price book means, first of all, you have to get that what is the price book on which you are going to sell the product. Once that price book is selected, then only you can sell the product to that another customer, right? If the your price book is final that yes, we are going to sell this product on wholesale price or on retailer price or on dealer price, then yes, now we are having the price book. Now you tell us the product, we will just simply say that yes, in price book the amount of this product is this. But if you are not having the price book, then you cannot select any product. And the question which I asked, can we connect a single price book to multiple opportunities? Then yes. Suppose there are multiple customers, 10 customers or 20 or 1,000 customers, they want to buy an individual price, then yes, you can sell the product at individual price. So what you will do, you will connect a single individual price book to that particular one what I must say, opportunity. So a single price book can connect to the multiple opportunities. And after note, this is a small step, because if you do not from where you will receive the price, as I told you, without selecting the price book, you cannot sell the product, because if you do, then from where you will get the price, because prices are stored with the price book entry object, right? So let's move further. Now quote. Guys, anyone know what is quote?
Quotation is
Quotation.
it's a thing that at what prices you are going to sell the products to the customer. A customer needs to get a rough paperwork of what are all the products are sold by the customer and what price he is selling the customers. We just want to get the rough idea of the prices of the products. That is the quotation.
Definitely, Gopi, definitely you are 100%.
Estimation before issued an invoice.
Definitely, Dharmender, you are also right. Now, for the simplest way, I can tell, whenever you go to any shop, right, then at the billing time, what that user will give you? A bill. What that bill will contain? That bill will contain all the details of all the products that you have bought, including the price and including your details. That is just a quote. Okay. So that means a quote is simple a thing which is containing all the details of the product which you are buying, with the details, with the deals of the price, that at what price you are buying, and with your details that this quote is for you, right? So these are the products that you have bought at this and this price. That is the quote. Definitely, a quote is a specific combination of product quantities and pricing. It is the specific group of product and their associated prices that you have quoted to the customer. So it is also saying that it is a combination of product quantities, means how many quantities you have bought of a particular product, and pricing. It is a specific group of products and associated prices at what price you have sold. Sandhya, can you please mute? Thank you. In other words, it is an estimate of the product price given the particular quotation. This is a kind of quote that we usually build in Salesforce. It's not any fixed type actually. You can make a product, but yes, this is a kind of similar. You can have multiple. You can have a list of multiple product, including the quantity or the serial number and some description and sale. You can also add discount, right? In the quote, you can also add discount in the shopping malls and everything. In any departmental store, we usually get the discount, or you can also add a total discount. Like suppose your total amount is now $2,000. So yes, you are going to have this particular thing free over it or something, 10% extra discount. You can also put the deals all inside the quote. So next question. Quote specialty. Salesforce offers a quote object, which is a record showing proposed price for product and service. If you're selling a product, then also, and if you're selling a service like Institute Coaching Center, as I told you, then also you're going to have that particular price. So you definitely will make a quote. Every deal needs a quote, guys. Every deal should have the code, because how the customer will get to know that what deal or what product they are buying at what price and in what much quantity, what is the limit, right? Codes can be created from and synced with Salesforce opportunities and emailed as PDF. Yes, you can create the code, and for sharing, we are having a lot of facilities in Salesforce. You can email it, you can share as a PDF, and we are having a multiple different custom functionalities which any customer can ask you in the future. If you are a Salesforce developer, then definitely anyone can give you a particular idea that on this idea we need this and this stuff, right? We were having a deal in one of our projects that they need the code to be created once they have selected the product, and before the billing they need a code that it should be shown to the customer that this is going to be a final price. Then definitely that would depend on the custom approach towards the business. The business will tell you itself, or maybe the customer will tell you that I need this and this requirement in your business. So it is very important for the developers to understand this whole sales process, because once you get familiar with the sales process, then if you know about the development, then definitely you are a Salesforce developer. You can also make a custom auto-generating code system. As I told you, you can have a custom approach, and usually we use standard approaches, but there are some scenarios which are not covered with standard, including admin stuff. Then we should move to the custom approach. But if there is anything in Salesforce which is possible with the admin stuff, then you should only go through the admin stuff till the limitations, right? Like now Salesforce have introduced flows also, if some of guys are familiar. And if you are not familiar with the flow word, then do not get panicked, because it is coming into the admin or development stuff, you can say. Now process builders are getting back from the Salesforce, they are packing it up, and flow is having a great much more stuff which you can do. But yes, flows are also having the limitation. Even on the loops, the flows are having limitation, so you have to handle like the particular number of records, how are you iterating inside the flow, that you can learn in the admin and development sessions. Can we have one quote with two opportunities? Any answer, guys?
We can have one code to one opportunity or two opportunities, provided only one code would be live and valid. We cannot have two live codes for one opportunity. I give a code, if you don't like it, then I give another code, then the earlier code will be disabled.
Well, you are right, definitely. Anyone other is also having the answer or wants to explain?
Yes, we can have one code for two opportunity, provided that the two opportunity, the both opportunity is from any team account or any group of organizations, something like that.
To say those
from
two
different
opportunities
departments.
must be from a single account.
Yeah, from a single account, but from a different team. I mean to say, like suppose they want to buy a product and the company, the account is having two teams, sales team and some other team, suppose dev team. So both of them need the same product. Then in that case, we can have this relation.
But the account should be same. Okay, I'm having
Will be
a question here.
duplicate.
Can we suppose there are two opportunities, there are two customers. So definitely if there are two customers, then there will be two accounts, and those two accounts are having single opportunities. So now the question is, can I connect a single code with those two customers opportunities? The same code. Now the question arises, maybe the products are different, but I'm resolving it for you. The products are same. Okay. Suppose one lead is me, myself, Gaurav, and another is someone like Mr. Anand. Okay. Mr. Anand is the second lead, and we are buying the same product. Same product we are buying. Now, can I provide a single code now to both of the opportunities? The amount is same, the discount is same. Still, can I provide?
No, you cannot provide. You have to link one opportunity to one code.
Can you explain the reason why?
The reason being, see, it goes this way. For every opportunity, right? When we give a code, it gets stored into the price book as well as into the opportunity, the account, which code is associated with it. In case, for example, the second opportunity person drops out, right? Then this code cannot be used, because it is linked to two opportunities. So when I drop a one particular opportunity, the code is not valid. So in order to have a one-to-one relationship and a live code, we have to have one opportunity to one code. Irrespective of the price, when the product might be the same, but we have to create another code for the other account opportunity.
Definitely, guys. Now, maybe someone new to the Salesforce, then you will not know these terms. So for you, I'm guys making it simpler, as simplest. Suppose you and your friend are going to buy a stuff from any departmental store. You are billing on a separate card or separately. Now you are going to have separate two bills. Now suppose the buyer said that okay, I have made a single quote, and you both guys are buying a same product. Okay, I have made a single quote for you, and now the question arises to whom I will give the quote, because the quote is also having the details of the customer, right? So now suppose the guarantee period is dependent on that quote, then that quote is having the name of me, Gaurav. Now Mr. Anand also wants to avail the functionality or the facility of the guarantee, then definitely they have to provide a separate quote to that opportunity. So these are the basic stuff that every quote is having the account details, the name of the customer, and then definitely they need some another quote, right? It is the simplest way to see that that is the reason we cannot connect a single quote, right? So that's how we cannot connect a single quote to different customers. But yes, one more thing, we can connect multiple quote to single opportunity. Someone also explained in mid, like suppose I proposed a quote to the customer, okay, and now customer said that okay, this is very much for me, please give us some more discount. Okay, we are introducing one more quote with 10% extra discount. So previous quote is disabled and that new quote is connected to the single opportunity again. Now again he said that no, I want to remove this product from my purchase. Okay, we are removing that product and we are again introducing one more quote with that single opportunity. Now what is happening, we are having three quote with a single opportunity, but only one is active and other two are disabled. So that's how we can connect a single quote, multiple quote to single opportunity, but only single is active, and that deal is also going on in a single. Got it? Let's go.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Gaurav, one doubt here.
Yeah, Vaishnavi.
Like one code cannot be shared by many opportunities. This is I understood.
Yeah.
But three or more codes, like one or many codes can be shared by a single opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you.
That's only the case, but in that case, only one quote will be in active mode.
No, I'm not getting your point.
One second. Let me explain you. Suppose you are going to any departmental store and you are buying any beauty products. Got it? Sorry, but I'm taking the example which you can understand easily. Okay. Suppose you are buying.
No problem.
Suppose you are buying multiple beauty products, your nail paints, your perfumes, and every stuff, and at the end, a quote came of $5,000. Okay, you said that no, I'm buying a lot of products. Please give me discount. So what they will do, they will generate one more bill for you on this with the same name, with the same number, right?
Okay.
So they will give you another bill with extra 10% discount. Now 500 is less. Now the total is 4,500. Okay. Now you said you are having now two bills in your hand with your single deal, right?
Yeah.
So it means you are having two quote with your single deal. Now you said that no, this bill is again out of my budget. Sorry to say, but yes, currently it is out of your budget with this deal. So I want the bill to adjust and get 4,000. So you said that please remove this perfume so that now my bill will be $4,000.
Okay.
Right? So they will generate another third bill for you. That is the third quote for you, which is under the same deal, same name, same details. So that's how we can connect a multiple quote with the single opportunity. Now got the point?
Yeah, got it.
Now you have bought your beauty products. You can use it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, so guys, this is the diagram which is showing the relationship between opportunity, quote, and product. Quote is always connected to multiple products because definitely a user can buy multiple products. Like Vaishnavi, we just have bought few perfumes and nail paints, multiple products, and on a single quote. And now she's also having multiple quote on a single opportunity. That's the simplest diagram it is showing. You can also note it down. 2 minutes for you to note it down, please, if you want.
Gaurav, if needed, you can 10:30. You can go for a break.
No, guys, just 10 to 15 minutes more session. We are getting covered with Sales Cloud. Then we will take 10 to 15 minutes break, and then we will start service. Okay, so let's move forward. Quote line item. So what is quote line item? Quote line item, it contains the information of the product, at what price you are selling it to the customer. So that quote line item is the relationship between the price and the product that you are selling to the customer. So we can connect multiple product to a single quote with a single price, right? With a selling price. Okay, so as we have discussed already, so you can connect the price and all the product list to the quote line item. So yes, guys, we are at the end. This is the actually this was the whole sales process, the whole sales cloud. I hope you all have understood it. Now, one more thing is pending. Let's come in the starting. We started with the campaign object, right? Now, suppose we have done with our one business. We have we started the campaign. We are done with our whole business. We got the leads, we got the deals, we gave the quote, we got the money. Now we are having a good amount in our bank. Now we are thinking, yes, we are having a new amount. So let's start another business. Okay, or let's start selling another product. Or so for that product, let's start campaigning again. So what are the possibilities that what can be the guys there can? Because there are the possibilities, like suppose you are starting with the new campaign, so there can be the those guys who are already your lead. Lead means which were your lead in previous campaign, but they were not converted, right? They are prospect leads till there. They were interested, but they didn't bought it. So now they are again present in your campaign. That can also be the case, right? Now the context means which were your qualified leads, means the leads from your previous campaign which were converted, who bought your product. Now that can be the also case that they are again available in your new campaign, right? So what is there cannot be a direct relationship. And when the case comes between junction object, definitely there is a junction object which is written here. I hope so you can see campaign member. So that is a junction object. But the thing is, a junction, any object in Salesforce can have only two master detail relationship. I hope you know master detail relationship and lookup relationship, and any object in Salesforce can only have two master detail relationships. So what type of relationship can we have in between these three objects? Campaign, contact, and lead. Any idea, guys?
Master data relationship.
But you can have only two master detail relationship, and here you are having three objects. So how can
lookup
you
relationship, Gaurav? Lookup
for all the relationship or what?
It's a junction relation. Junction relationship.
Yeah, junction. See. Not get confused. Relationship are always of two types: lookup and master. And junction is an object, which is a bridge connecting with two or three objects or a number of objects. Now, the solution is this is a campaign.
It's all the lookup relationship only. Even with the junction object, also we have a lookup relationship.
Okay, let's see. The campaign member is the junction object. Okay, and as I told you, there will be three type of people in the campaign. Users who are doing the campaign, definitely they will be there. New customers will also be there, new leads, and already customers, which are already your customer, which are already your lead. These are the type of customers which are you going to have. Okay, this is Q. 1 second. Now the relationship between them is this is a single object, campaign member, but there will be you can say master detail relationship with campaign, but lookup relationship with contact and lead, which will be mutually exclusive. Now mutually, what is the meaning of mutually exclusive? Which means in a single record of campaign member, suppose you created again campaign and you are creating that, yes, from this is the campaign member record. The campaign is this B campaign, the second campaign, and in other side you can connect either a lead or a contact. Got it? It will be either a lead or a contact in a single record. That's how mutually exclusive and required. Means you have to either connect a contact or a lead. It is must that single person should be there, either a contact or a lead, but only a single can be there. Means either a contact or a lead. Got it? So now the relationship, if you delete the campaign member record will get deleted because it is with the master detail relationship. But
Master relationship.
But
Yes.
contact and lead will always be there in your Salesforce system because that is the lookup. Got it? Because of some new campaign, you cannot delete your previous business, right? So that's how. And we have learned this. Q. What is Q? Q is basically a list of users. Then in Service Cloud, it is having a major role. We are going to
I
have a
have
session.
one question. Can I
Yeah,
ask?
please. Yeah, please.
Can be two object have a master detail relationship as well as lookup relationship? Like they are connected with the master as well as lookup. Is it possible?
No, it's not in the business. Actually, you are connecting with a single object with two relationship. No, you should not.
Okay, and can one object be a like a parent of other object. For example, let's account. Okay, accounts is a parent of contact. Can contact is also a parent of account? Like
See,
if we make
what some users do, not some users, sorry for this, but some of the customers comes into the market with what they do, like account and contact are always having the relationship, right? And master details. So what they do, they make a lookup field on contact and for the account. Right?
no, just don't take. I'm
I
just
got it.
giving
That
example.
you are saying
Yeah.
there can be the relationship or of vice versa. You are saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, some of the people do this, but this is not according to the business.
Okay.
Right. Like, see the simple example. My dad is my dad. I cannot be his dad.
Yeah.
Right. They cannot be vice versa. This is the simple, you can say, inheritance.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Got
Type
it.
and relationship. So Q. Guys, this queue we are going to discuss in, so basically it is a list of users. Suppose I am having one user, Mr. Anand is was user, and the girl who just asked me, and Vaishnavi, we are different users. Now we want to give the membership of a single record to multiple users. So we will make a queue which will contain the list of all these users, whatever we want to assign, and we will assign that record to that queue. So then that record is going to assign with those all members at a single time. We are going to discuss this in a practical view in a service cloud session. What's next? Lead assignment rule is also stuff. Whenever a lead is coming, after that you can make lead assignment rule with the help of which you can assign the leads. 1 second. You can just go to here, type lead assignment rules. We are having a standard rule. You can create a new one also. So you can add your new rule and give the priority on 1, 2, 3, 4, just like ascending orders. And you can give email. You can find one more thing. It should be active. Okay. And you can give the priority on assign to which user. Currently, I am the user. So you can change your user. Like suppose if the country equals this United States and States of America, then I am the user. And if country equals only United States or something else without US, then maybe some another user is can be the owner. So this rule is will automatically assign the record according to your rule criteria. Okay.
Gaurav, 1 minute. So at which point we are going for the lead assignment rules? What is the purpose of lead assignment rules?
See, suppose you are having big business, right? And you are having an automated process which is converting your leads daily, right? Or according to the status, your lead is getting automatically converted. Now you cannot put a person on a system. Okay, assign this lead to that person, assign this lead to that person according to details, right? You cannot sit now, or you can yourself or not sit, or why you will pay to a person like, okay, check all the records one by one and transfer. And if you can sit a person and pay the money, suppose there are 50,000 records, how the person will assign to your, suppose you are having 5 members who are who can be the member. So you can just assign that if this country is, this is just an example, if the user, the record is from the country USA, then assign it to Gaurav. If the country origin is India, then assign it to suppose you yourself. Okay.
No. I'm still getting confused with this lead assignment rules. Like, at which point we are going to this lead assignment rules? What is the exact purpose? What this lead assignment rule exactly do? What it does?
It usually assign the record to the particular owner. That's it.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Like I have created the record, so I will be the owner. Now, if you want to assign that record to some another user, that suppose it usually happens in our home that okay, this is my stuff, and we usually brothers and sisters always fight that this is your work. Okay, so you are going to, this is assigned to you, just you do it. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, because my mother has said that your name. Okay, so this is just the mother lead assignment rule. This lead assignment rule is assigning work to separate members.
Okay.
We usually say no to our mother, but this lead, this cannot say, the Salesforce cannot say no to the lead assignment rule. This is very strict, mother. Okay. So these are some of the users of, only some of the users. There are multiple big users of Salesforce. And this was the end of guys Sales Cloud. It's 11:30, 2 hours. And let's take 10 minutes break, Anand.
Yes, we can have 10 minutes break.
So guys, I hope you like the session, right?
Yeah, Gaurav, it is very useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah, Gaurav, yes.
I request,
I
could you
hope you
please
guys are-
share this PPT?
Yes, yes.
Sorry, PPT. Okay,
Share
yeah,
this
PPT.
PPT, Gaurav.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
What I will
very
do, I will share this PPT with Mr. Anand, and Mr. Anand, can you share it with the link or something?
Yeah, sure. I will be sharing it.
So he will be sharing all the stuff with you. You will get it out, and I hope so that you are now familiar with the Sales Cloud. This is very easy, guys. Salesforce is very easy. You just have to put some concentration and look near you in the market. Salesforce is there. Got it? Now, guys, it's 11:30. Let's meet at sharp 11:40 again.